Welcome back to Law and Crime Daily. Opening statements are presented in the long-awaited California murder trial of Eric Holder Jr., a man charged with murder in the death of rapper Nipsey Hussell. Prosecutors say Nipsey Hussell was gunned down by Holder outside the rapper's Los Angeles clothing store in March 2019. In addition to his music career, Nipsey Hussell was reportedly dedicated to supporting youth and the community where he grew up, the same community where he died. After 3 years of delays, Holder is facing a jury for the first time on charges of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and assault with a deadly weapon. Police say a dispute broke out between the two men before Holder left the store, then returned with 2 firearms. A medical examiner found Nipsey Hussell was shot at least 10 times, with the bullets piercing his lungs and severing his spinal cord. During opening statements Wednesday, prosecutors told jurors Nipsey Hussell was killed in a calculated and premeditated attack. Jurors saw video showing the last seconds of Nipsey Hussell's life.
March 31st, 2019, at about 3:20 in the afternoon, there was an explosion of violence. At that place and at that time, the world lost Ermias Joseph Ascadon, better known to the world as Nipsey Hussell. Eric Holder is shooting from a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and a revolver. He fires at least 10, possibly 11 shots. After he's done shooting, he walks over, he kicks him in the head, and then he runs back toward the alley.
Holder's defense attorney says his client doesn't deny shooting Nipsey Hussell, only that it was not a premeditated attack.
On March 31st, 2019, Eric Ronald Holder Jr. shot and killed Nipsey Hussell. A bullet accidentally hit Mr. Latham, and Mr. Villanueva may have been grazed. We're not sure. And the provocative act in this case was that Nipsey Hussell had made an accusation against Mr. Holder that he was a snitch. That so inflamed and enraged Mr. Holder, the evidence will show that without thinking, and a few minutes later, a mere 9 minutes or so later, Mr. Holder returned and shot Mr. Ascadon.
All right, so we heard it there. Defense attorney doesn't seem too confident in his own opening statements, but let's kind of dissect it there, Katherine. Holder's defense is saying this isn't premeditated because this 9 minutes wasn't enough of a cooling off period, and he was still in the heat of passion, a legal term, trying to drop this down from murder to manslaughter. But does that make sense?
You know, when he's trying to argue the 9 minutes, that's what we call a question of fact, as to looking at other cases, what has happened, what has been concluded, as to whether 9 minutes is enough as a cooling off period for premeditated. But if you think about it using your common sense, 9 minutes is a long time. And one way to do that is take out your watch and really put that in a timer for 9 minutes. That's a long time. When we are on break here for the show, that's about 3 minutes, and it feels like a long time. Now multiply that by 3. As you can imagine, you will feel the length of time. Also, the key there is he left to get guns and then come back and shoot him. The act of actually leaving and going through that exact motion of getting the guns, coming back and shooting him, that will definitely be played out here step by step during any examination of the shooter here.
Yeah, supposing he also left and finished some chili fries. I mean, you sit down and eat chili fries, that's enough time to cool down in my mind. So we'll see how that plays out when the testimony comes out. But Terry, Nipsey Hussell and Holder have ties or alleged ties to the Crips. And the defense is saying that in gang culture, being called a snitch is enough for a heat of passion defense. How much of gang life is going to be brought into this trial, and is that believable?
You know, I think a lot of gang life will be brought into this trial. I hope not, though, because that's not what this trial is about. As Katherine said, it's all about whether or not he came back. It was premeditated. He knew what he was going to do. He got those guns. So I hope the gang doesn't come to it.
All right, we'll see how it plays out. Thank you both. And thank you for joining us here on Law and Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.